It's already begun. The final 3 days of June are now unfolding. And they are not normal days. They are a closing ceremony, a spiritual ignition point. You may be feeling it, the way time isn't behaving, the way your body is buzzing even when it should be tired, the way your thoughts feel louder, heavier, like something invisible is pushing against your skin. That's not random, that's alignment, forcing its way through the cracks. These aren't just the last days of the month, they're the final moments before a massive energetic turnover. What doesn't transform will release, and what isn't real will fall away. By the time July arrives, your timeline will have split, and you'll either be walking through the flame or circling it from a distance. And yes, it's already happening. Stay with me until the end, because if you don't recognize the signs in time, you may miss your own moment, and this window won't open like this again. Let's begin. You may have noticed it already. Time isn't moving the same. It's thicker, stickier, like every second is pulling more meaning through it than usual. You glance at the clock, and it's either too early or too late. Moments stretch and then vanish. That's not a scheduling issue, that's timeline distortion. It's your spirit bracing for something it already knows is coming. And in these final 72 hours, the pressure is no longer subtle. It's crawling just beneath the surface of your reality, whispering through your breath, humming in your spine. Your sleep might be off, not restless, but ceremonial. You're not dreaming just to process. You're dreaming to remember, and your body knows, even if your mind hasn't caught up. A racing heart for no reason, flashes of heat in your palms, tears rising out of nowhere, laughter in the middle of uncertainty. This is the final flame, and it's not waiting for your logic. It's summoning your presence. You are being called, not gently, but urgently. Something ancient inside you is rising, not to destroy you, but to burn away what no longer fits. And this fire, it doesn't ask politely. It arrives through symptoms, symbols, and sensations. Because right now, your life is no longer just unfolding. You may feel like you're too sensitive, too emotional, too awake. You're not, you're tuned in. And that means you're exactly where you need to be. Have you noticed something strange about the way people are showing up lately? The ones who used to fill every room with noise, opinions, endless performance. They're starting to fade. Not because they've changed, but because the energy. These last 3 days of June are doing something profound. They are shifting the power dynamic from volume to vibration. Now it's the quiet ones, the ones who don't have to prove anything, the ones who sit still, but somehow pull the entire room toward them. They're rising, not because they're louder, but because they're aligned. This isn't about popularity, it's about energetic gravity. You'll feel it, a subtle magnetism forming around people who don't need attention because they already carry presence. And if you've been the quiet one, the unseen one, the overlooked one, that's about to change. Not because you forced it, but because your truth is finally weighty enough to hold space without explanation. Silence isn't empty anymore. It's sacred, and right now, it's more powerful than all the noise in the world. There's a moment right before everything changes, when your nervous system doesn't shut down, it opens. Not with panic, not with fear, but with something unexpected. Laughter, that strange, almost inappropriate laughter that bubbles up in the middle of chaos, not because you're amused, not because you're numb, but because your spirit just remembered. It can't be broken. That laugh isn't madness. It's a release valve for the soul. It means the fear has lost its grip. It means the fire inside you has taken the wheel. This is the flame that doesn't mourn what's falling. It rises through it. It doesn't need closure. It needs direction. So if you find yourself laughing at moments that should overwhelm you, if you suddenly feel weightless in the middle of something heavy, don't doubt that that's not dysfunction. That's recognition. It means your soul is no longer obeying the old script. It's dancing with the unknown, and it's not afraid anymore. Watch closely, because right now, resistance is wearing a new costume. It might look like delays, interruptions, people pulling away, or emotions that hit too hard and too fast. You might be hearing sudden no's, feeling stuck when momentum was building, or second-guessing a decision you were certain about just days ago. It's not sabotage. It's the test of the flame. And here's the twist. What feels like something trying to hold you back is actually proof that you're breaking through, because energy doesn't push back unless it's being pushed on. Your expansion is real, and the old structures around you, they're reacting not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're no longer willing to stay small. This pressure, this friction, it's not asking you to stop. It's asking, will you grow anyway? Anything trying to contain you now isn't the enemy. It's just a system that no longer knows how to hold your new frequency. You don't have to fight it. You just have to stop shrinking. Let the delays happen. Let the weirdness rise. Let the doubts whisper. But don't follow them, because your power doesn't need permission. It just needs room. Something is happening at night. You've felt it. You lie down, expecting rest. But instead, your body hums, not with stress, not with caffeine, but with something deeper, older. It's like your soul is wide awake, even when your eyes are closed. Between now and the 30th, sleep may not feel like sleep. It may feel like ceremony, like you're crossing into another world. The moment your head hits the pillow, your dreams might be louder, messier, more symbolic, or maybe you don't dream at all. You just keep waking with the eerie sense that something or someone was just there. That's not exhaustion. That's energy moving, because when the distractions fade, the flame rises. It stretches, it searches for room, and if you've been silencing yourself, if your voice, your ideas, your intuition have been kept in lockdown, then this fire doesn't disappear. It builds, and it will use your body as its messenger, overheating, buzzing, tears with no name, clarity, in the middle of the night. This isn't insomnia. This is remembrance. The veil is thin. Now, and these nights are not passive. They are invitations from your deepest self, from the version of you that doesn't obey clocks or fear, and it's asking, will you listen? Here's the thing about real opportunities. They almost never show up the way you expect. They don't arrive with fanfare. They slip in sideways, disguised as interruptions, odd timing, or strange magnetic pulls. And these next 3 days are full of them. You might feel drawn to revisit something random, a color, a song, a person you haven't thought about in years. You might get a sudden urge to speak, to move, to reach out, and you won't know why. But your body will. That's the flame. It doesn't think in straight lines. It pulls, it nudges, it glitches your routine just enough to get your attention. You might be tempted to dismiss it, to wait for something more obvious. But if you do, you might miss it entirely, because these spiritual doorways, they don't look like doors. They look like weird coincidences, like moments that don't make sense until later, and they don't wait. If it feels charged, even if it's subtle, that's your cue. Follow the warmth, not the logic, because in this kind of energy, the path doesn't reveal itself until your foot is already in motion. Don't miss the doorway just because it doesn't have a sign. There's a heaviness in the air right now. Not just emotional, but sensory. The light feels too bright. The sounds too sharp. The world too much. And it's not your imagination. These final days of June are soaked in solar energy, but it's not the kind that brings clarity. It's the kind that floods, overwhelms, burns so hot you can't see what's beneath. You're not meant to see clearly right now. You're meant to feel, to move by instinct, not by proof. Plans might feel blurry. Certainty might dissolve. What felt solid last week now feels like smoke. This isn't confusion. This is sacred dismantling. The flame doesn't organize. It clears. It strips. It makes space. If you're finding yourself overstimulated, overwhelmed, or just plain done with everything outside you, that's the invitation. To turn inward, to listen to the smallest voice, the one without words. Because when everything out there gets too loud, it's time to come home to the quiet inside. Not to retreat, but to remember that even in the fire, you are not lost, you are being revealed. Have you felt it lately? The strange weight of your own words, like even small talk feels hollow, or like your mouth tries to say one thing, but your body tugs you back. It's not just awkwardness, it's resonance correcting itself. These final days of June are a crucible, and fire doesn't carry what isn't real. It burns it off. That means your speech, your stories, even the little white lies you tell to smooth the edges, they're starting to fall flat, or worse, echo back in strange ways. You might find yourself stopping mid-sentence, because suddenly what you're saying feels wrong, misaligned, outdated. That's the signal. The energy now is demanding truth, not for morality, but for momentum, because anything false will weigh you down. Even if it's polite, even if it's convenient, if your voice shakes when you speak your truth, good. It means you're finally saying something real. If you need to be silent to find that alignment, take the silence. Because in this energy, truth hits harder than ever. And when your words match your fire, everything shifts. People listen differently. Rooms change, not because you're louder, but because you've stopped pretending. What you're feeling in your body right now isn't just weather, or stress, or caffeine. It's fire. Not metaphorical fire, but the spiritual flame pushing through your physical form. You might notice it in your chest, your hands, your face. A pulse that doesn't match your heartbeat, a heat that comes out of nowhere, a trembling in your fingers when nothing's wrong. It's not anxiety, it's emergence. This isn't energy you're supposed to calm down. It's energy you're supposed to honor, because fire doesn't visit to comfort, it visits to activate, and if you don't give it movement, it burns in place. It shows up as irritation, distraction, pressure under your skin. But when you speak, when you create, when you act, that fire transforms. It becomes vision. It becomes clarity. It becomes power. You don't need to suppress this. You need to ask it, what do you want to make through me? A message, a project, a shift in how you move through the world. The flame is already rising, and the only real danger is pretending it isn't. Have you done it yet? Made a bold move without overthinking it? Said something out loud that's been stuck inside you for weeks, maybe years? Followed a strange impulse and felt more alive than ever? That's not recklessness. That's the fire taking over before your fear can veto it. These final 3 days of June are designed for that, for micro moments of courage. Tiny, electric, irreversible. You don't need a 5-year plan. You don't need permission. You just need that 1 second of alignment before doubt creeps back in, wearing the mask of logic. And some of you have already felt it. You've hit send on the message you were afraid to write. You said the thing, you walked away, or toward, and it didn't feel chaotic. It felt right, because your instincts have been waiting for a moment when the veil thins enough for action to move through you unblocked. This is that moment. Bravery right now doesn't shout. It moves. Fast, quiet, precise, and it creates ripples you can't even see yet. So if your heart races, if your hands shake just before you leap, that's the sign. Go. Because fire won't lead you into destruction, it will lead you into truth. And that's where your next chapter begins. They told us the prophecy was about endings, collapse, chaos, the world unraveling, but they were only half right. This isn't about destruction. It's about ignition. Something ancient, something powerful, has been buried beneath your layers, your politeness, your self-doubt, your hesitation. And these final days of June are tearing that covering away. Not to expose you, but to reveal you. You may have felt it already, the pressure behind your ribs, the heat behind your thoughts, the way your voice wants to rise before you've even decided what to say. This isn't emotional instability. It's spiritual remembrance. You're not who you were at the start of the month. Something has split, and what's coming forward now isn't a better version. It's the true one, the one that doesn't shrink, the one that doesn't ask to be chosen, the one that already knows it belongs. By the 30th, you may not have all the answers, but you'll have something better. Conviction. You'll feel the click, the shift, the quiet "no more" rising in your bones. And it won't need to be spoken, because the energy in your presence will say it for you. You're not ending something, you're beginning, with fire in your chest. And this time, it's permanent. If you're still here, thank you. You didn't just watch this video. You felt it, because something inside you already knew. These final days of June aren't ordinary. They're sacred, a crossing point you can't unwalk. And if any part of this message echoed through your chest, stirred your thoughts, or reminded you of your own fire, let it move you, let it speak. And if you feel called, share what's been rising inside you in the comments below. Your words might be the very mirror someone else needed. And if you'd like to walk through these portals with me in the future, you can subscribe right here. This space is more than a channel, it's a gathering of old souls, remembering who they are. Together, until next time, hold your fire close. Speak only from the truth, and trust. You are not alone in this shift. You are the shift.